going to call the meeting to order at 9:34 a.m. on October 7th. The chair is under the weather and has asked me to lead the meeting today. Can we stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There are no corrections or objections to the minutes of September 16th for the regular meeting. They will be approved. Any comments or objections or anything? Okay, approval of requisitions, October 7th, 2021, $163,620.80. Approval of accounts payable, September 23rd, 2021, $1,536,855.83.
Are we going to make motions on these or say without objection? You're just reading them all.
I was just reading them off. I think that's what the chair does not have an objection.
Well, each time we go down, he asks if there's objection. If there is any.
Okay. Do we have any objections to the approval of requisitions? With approval of accounts payable, I'll go through those and then ask if there's any objections. September 30th, 2021, $525,199.74. October 7th, 2021, $1,400,800. Any objections to any of those accounts payable items? Approval of manual checks, September 24th, 2021, $434.83. October 1st, 2021, $1,233.56. October 8th, 2021, $295,818.89. Any objections to manual checks? Approval of payroll, September 16th, 2021, $263,050. September 30th, 2021, $263,665. Objections to approval of payroll? Presentation. Jackie Shadle is our first presenter.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
I'm here to discuss the need for a new plaque cabinet. We've had an increase in the number of plaques that are recorded. We've had more recorded this year than the past 2 years combined, and we're running quickly out of room. So it's a specialized cabinet, and only we tried to get multiple quotes, but it's only available through one vendor. I have $5,000 in my book repair that I can move over to materials and supplies, but I'm coming to the commission for the rest of the money to pay for that specialized cabinet. Thinking ahead, I can also apply for a grant through the Records Management Preservation Board. And this is the type of item that they will typically fund. And I would like to apply for that grant and need your approval for that. The commission would be responsible for 10% if I were to receive that grant. That will not be available for purchase. I'm applying. It needs to be in by November 1st, and then I won't be able to purchase it till July 1st. So we're going to have 2 cabinets and plenty of space with all of this.
Michelle.
I just wanted to let you know that I did speak with both Jackie Shadle and Nikki regarding the need and the emergency need. I would recommend that we fund this through a one-time use of fund balance through our contingency for emergencies. The other funding sources that we have available would be coal severance fund, if you would like that instead.
I just have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I was told that, by somebody, that all the deed books now are going digital, but not the plats. Is that the difference?
I think
here?
the plats are all digital, but we record the original and it's stored in the records room in
Okay.
a specialized
So there is a
cabinet and
paper
sleeve.
copy.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but that's not true for deeds anymore.
No, we have the old deed books, but
I
the
know.
newer deeds are all digital.
Yes, well, I've been through those old deed books.
Yes, yes.
I was just trying to understand the difference of how things are being handled here. Yeah.
And so, do you know what, you said it was 10% we'd be responsible for? Do you have that number?
Yes. I think it's like,
Would be $860.
thank you.
Yeah.
And that's not until next year. The amount needed this year would be $4,463.
I just need your approval to apply for the grant.
Okay, we'll go ahead and make a motion to approve and fund the request of $4,463 to purchase a flat cabinet from our contingency emergency fund.
I'll second for discussion. I'm not against funding it at all. It's maybe coal severance because we're about to get into winter.
Okay,
That's why.
all right,
we have-
coal severance is fine, yeah. So I'll amend my motion to be from coal severance instead of emergencies.
Yeah, I think that's a better choice. The years we've had blizzards have not been worse.
All in favor?
Aye. And then I'll go ahead and make the motion to, you need approve the application, that we approve the application resolution for the West Virginia County Records Management and Preservation Board grant. And this would affect the 2022-23 budget.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, and I need to get your signatures.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually blue.
I have a blue.
Okay, I was going to ask.
Yeah, and I haven't.
Grants usually.
Yeah.
Very much. Yep. Yep.
Okay, next we have Roger Goodwin from engineering, and Todd Fagan, PGIS.
Had doctor's appointments today, so.
Otherwise, I'm gonna bet you were.
Exactly.
Morning all, thank you. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Todd Fagan. I'm with the GIS manager on the IT. Last year I was under EP&C, working with Roger and Becky. And I want to thank Ms. Shadle for familiarizing yourselves with the Records and Management Protection Board, because this is piggybacking on that effort. So we, last year, DEPZ submitted a grant for scanners and part-time help. We were awarded the scanners. It was partial award. We got 2 high-speed, high-quality scanners that are put to use right now, and we have been reimbursed for them, to my knowledge. So 90% of that cost has been already reimbursed to the county. And as grateful as we are, that, like I said, it was partially funded. So this year, the department is requesting the same second half that we did last year, which is a part-time temporary help personnel costs, of which 90% of that could be reimbursed as well. So a brief background on the project. The department has tons of records in the basement, lots of boxes. If you looked at our application, you can see photos of the boxes and that sort of thing.
Doesn't even do it justice.
We've been, they have records back to 75 for permits, 72 for zoning records, and 88 for subdivision records.
Actually, it's 72 for subdivision, 88 for zoning.
Thank you. And frankly, we're running out of room in the basement, and keeping those files down there are at risk of flooding, fire, misplacement, that sort of thing. We are continually at risk of those problems. It's time consuming to identify and collect those records from the basement. So digitizing, scanning these records has been very, very helpful to staff and the public. We've gotten almost 75% done of the building permits. We have an equivalent backlog of planning and zoning records, which frankly are harder to work through. And so we have an online permitting system and land development record system called My Government Online that the staff can keep projects on track through the review process, bring up the digital records and even communicate with the customer online and accept online payments. So we want to keep this project going forward. The scanners have been very helpful. They're in use, like I said. And this part-time position would help a great deal, cut that backlog down. It's proposed to be a temporary part-time position under the supervision of the environment, engineering, planning, and zoning. And they could help us meet our goals much faster of scanning the backlog. So if you have any questions, really the department's responsibility is to comply with the grant deadlines, purchasing and reporting requirements. Commission's responsibility is a 10% match, and internal IT support, which is basically space for the scanned documents. And this 10% match is a minimum of $955. Okay, so that wouldn't you wouldn't really incur that cost until fiscal year 23. So we'll know in notice of awards are in February. Application is due by November 1st. We're actually further ahead this time than we were last year, so that's good. If you have any questions for Ms. Burns or I, I'm happy to answer.
Yes, I do have some questions. So again, back to your point you just made, a minimum cost of $955. Do you have any idea what could possibly be the maximum cost of that, or what?
It kind of depends. This is where it depends on the personnel and what the department chooses to do. Like the minimum is required is, as specified in the grant, is say 700 hours.
Okay.
And that would be equivalent to like an internship full-time for a summer. Okay. If that's what you choose to go, then that's what you can get for $955.
Okay.
And that's what would be reimbursed. The $9,000 or so would be reimbursed for that cost. If you all decided that you wanted, this person was good or something, you extended a year long, could be, I don't know, $15,000. In years past, we've had GIS internships that ran us $15,000 a year for part-time help.
Okay.
That's kind of the upper limit. Keep in mind, 9,000 of that would be reimbursed.
Okay, thank you. That was going to be my next question. Did you think a summer internship was going to be enough to accomplish the goal
Right.
for that? So, thank you.
So it's my understanding this is matching funding, the $955 minimum would be required in the 2023 budget.
Correct.
So then when you make your budget request, you put that in there?
That's the anticipation.
Yes, okay.
So
All right, but you need,
I'll keep on testing Michelle and Roger and Becky to.
right, so what you need is our permission to move ahead with the grant, knowing that we're implying that there will be a budget request for this.
Correct.
Okay, well, I'll move to approve the RMD, no.
Records Management.
And
Protection
Records
Board.
Management and Preservation Board, application in the amount of $9,545. And pass, and also approve the associated resolution of support.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I think when you have two grants now from two different offices, you will have to prioritize. They will ask us to come back. I believe that happened before. They'll ask us to prioritize.
It's
Yeah.
included in the paperwork.
Okay.
I mean, that's set up right now. I've put this in as a second priority
Okay.
behind clerk,
Okay.
which is the way we were last year with the sheriff's office.
Okay.
And both were approved last year.
And they still approve partial funding.
Correct.
Okay, all right. We'll see.
Great.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everyone, how are you using this?
Thanks, Todd.
I've got some signature pages here for Commissioner Stoliver that I'll leave with Stephanie. Okay. Unless you're prepared to sign those.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Becky with, you guys know who I am, everyone knows. Thank you. We have had a couple of requests asking for reimbursement of their building permit fees and that they be revoked and their building permit fees and their impact fees be refunded. So the first one is from Donald and Pamela Pine. They applied for their building permit on June 4th and they've asked that their permit be revoked and their fees be refunded. And as we did last time, we're recommending full refund of the impact fee and 65% of their building permit fees to be refunded because we did do work. The permits did get issued, but there have been no footings. There's been no work other than no footings, nothing's in the ground on this first request.
Okay, I'll make the motion to approve partial refund of the building permit fee for Donald and Pamela Pine in the amount of $656.11 and a full refund of the impact fee in the amount of $6,700 and to close the permit application file.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it's unanimous.
And the next request is very much like this, the same. It's Timothy and Susan Pollan. They applied for their building permit for a single family residence on June 9th, and they've asked that their permit be revoked and their fees be refunded, full impact fee and $1,301.17 of their building permit fee.
I'll move to approve the partial refund of the building permit fee for Timothy and Susan Pollan in the amount of $1,301.17 and a full refund of the impact fee in the amount of $6,700 and to close the permit application file.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next request is Mr. and Mrs. Whitmore applied for a building permit. They wanted to put a lean-to roof on an existing structure and just with cost, materials, and I think they got in way over their head because they were going to be their own contractor and they really just felt that they couldn't pursue it. So they have asked that their permit fees be refunded. I've told them that we always ask that 35% be retained because we have done the work. We did issue the, permit and everything. So we're recommending $97.50 of their building permit fees be refunded.
Okay, I'll make a motion for Mark and Christy Whitmore that building permit 21894, a refund of $97.50, and then that permit be closed.
Second.
Any discussion? I'm waiting on Steve to chime in. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
And Lutman applied for the same building permit twice on the same piece of property. I think he's since tightened up some of his internal. And so we did issue the one permit. We are able in our MGO system to apply credits and keep track of that. So the building permit fees do not need to be refunded. We will credit that towards a future permit that he files with our office. But we are asking that his $6,700 impact fee be refunded to him.
Okay. I'll make the motion to approve a full refund of an impact fee in the amount of $6,700 for permit file 21-647. That's David Lutman Land Development. And to close the permit application file.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Just a little bit ahead of schedule.
Have a good rest of your day. Thank
You
you.
too.
Lindsay's online. Is she? She's ready.
Lynn, we're ready for you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good morning. I'm Lynn Fields. I'm here from the county clerk's office to present a list of accountings and waivers that have met all of the requirements of the probate office and need official approval to be closed.
I'll move we convene as a fiduciary review board.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are now what did you say, fiduciary review board?
Yes.
We are now in session for the fiduciary review board. Okay. Do we have those? We have that list, right?
Yeah, it was on our,
In our packet? Yeah.
it wasn't in our packet, but it was on
It was,
the desktop here.
I think we have it in our packet, right? Yeah. No, maybe.
oh, you have to listen to the packet and Jane has the actual documents. I think they're made.
No, I found this on this.
Okay, okay.
I don't have the documents. Did nobody else get this?
Yes, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not seeing. Okay.
No, so it's on Berkeley. She hasn't brought it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we need her to go through each one of these for the matter of record?
She usually doesn't, so
Okay.
if anybody has it, unless a commissioner has a question about them.
I guess we're relying.
I think it's on there.
It's not our table?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, so does anybody have any questions related to the quarterly review office discussion?
Unfortunately, I know too many of these people. I'm getting to that age. I'll move that we approve the accounting and waivers presented for quarterly review, that all are appear to be in order.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you.
So I'll make a motion, we come out of the fiduciary review board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're still a little ahead of schedule. Is there anything? I've got the Parks and Rec interview next. Is there anything we can cover in the meantime?
We could do, I don't know how long the fire thing is gonna take. If you want to discuss that, or you could also do this assessor certificate of compliance, that just requires you. to acknowledge that you've received it, and
Let's do that. Are you presenting that or she?
I can present it. So Everett, you've done this for the sheriff previously. We just did that a couple weeks ago. They are both entitled to additional compensation, provided that they meet certain requirements under the code section. We have received her certificate from the, what is the name of that? The PEC, Property Valuation Committee, that she has met her obligations under the code section and is entitled to her additional compensation. So you just need to acknowledge that you've received her certificate of compliance, and then we'll send it down to payroll to go ahead and pay that additional compensation.
Okay. I move that we acknowledge and accept the assessor's certificate of compliance.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Well, and I would just make one comment that our assessor is very generous. You know, that is her money that she has control over. We don't, aren't it?
Yeah,
We don't
so-
have the ability to budget it. She has that.
Yes,
But she shares that with us.
yes,
pays
she does. She pays
personnel.
several steps out of that. And I just want to correct one thing that I said. There are two requirements. One is from the PVC. She gets two separate things for additional compensation. This one is actually from the Department of Agriculture,
Yeah.
that she's met her obligations for the farm statistics, for the farm census.
Farms.
So it doesn't change anything. I just wanted to let you know that it's not the PVC one, it's the farm one.
Anything else we can discuss?
I think we can do the next one, which is the request for the meeting room.
Okay.
And forgive me, this came in kind of last minute. So we had a request from Ms. Chapman to use the room for a charter schools event. I think she's organizing the new code section that authorizes the development of charter schools. She's leading that effort and she needs to use the meeting room here, I believe on October 17th. It's a new organization, so it requires county commission approval. But I don't see any reason why the room is available on that date. And typically, once an organization gets approval to use the room, then they are able to use it after that. We've also, we've limited the use of the room during COVID, but otherwise, the room is available for use.
And that was my question. I know we're not organizing this meeting and I don't have a problem using the room, but is there any liability for us if it becomes packed and we have problems? You know, I don't know.
I don't think so. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think so either, but I just,
yeah,
you know,
I mean,
we could recommend the amount of people to be in the room safely. I mean, you know.
So, the actual group is called what? Do we have a name of the group? I'm just thinking for future reference
Yeah.
if they ask,
let
since
me
we're,
text Jessica, spoke with her, and there's not an agenda request, so let me see if she knows the name.
I will say that we do have a separate risk policy for volunteerism. I don't know if this relates to that in any way.
Yeah. Well, in any case, anybody who rents a room, I think during the current situation that we should have just general guidelines of what we do.
A waiver of
How many
liability
people?
form, a waiver of liability.
Yeah,
potentially.
yeah, something.
Okay, great. So,
wanna make it-
Steve, do you know the name of it since you spoke to her? You, Mr. Soliver?
I know she was appointed on the state.
It is the state.
Is it
board,
the
but
state?
I'm sorry, I didn't speak to her on the phone and.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking online.
I think it's the State Board of, is it charter schools? Is that?
It's the Professional Charter Schools Board.
Yes, that's it.
Okay, I'm just gonna make a motion to allow the professional charter schools board to use the county commission meeting room on October 17th.
Second.
Any discussion?
Well, I would just like the commission's policy on how many are allowed in the room shared with the organizer.
And
then
I
it's-
also want to remind everyone that Ms. Chapman is also the chair of Board of Health, so I'm sure she's mindful of conditions and restrictions and those things as well. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Anything else, Stephanie, we can?
Did you want to go ahead and do all business or?
Yeah, we could go ahead and do that and find out.
So this is, Commissioner Soliver had asked that we kind of explore all of our funding options. And I know that Commissioner Hudson before had indicated that he's always felt that these should be levied. I ran a levy, I just ran kind of a sample property for what a levy would look like. And looking at what the request that fire made at our last meeting, I think that most people would pay less in a levy than they would pay in a fee, depending upon, of course, what their house is, how big or small it is. But I also ran commercial properties, and they would pay way less under a levy. So I thought the commission should have all of those options. If you're going to look at funding mechanisms, you might want to see what a levy would look like. The downside of a levy is that it renews every 5 years, and it requires a supermajority for you, not like the Board of Education, which requires a majority. But if you funded these services by a levy, it looks like it would be about, and these are just my preliminary numbers with me running them. So take that into account when you're thinking about it, but probably like a 4-cent levy, 2 to 4 cent levy. It's not at all like the Board of Education's levy that makes up about 65% of your tax bill. We're not talking, I think when people hear levies, they think of really large amounts, and this would not be a large amount. And I think we need about 2 to 4 cents to cover what fire was asking. Or actually, I think the levy that I ran was fire, and this is, again, me doing it very quickly, was fire and EMS. And I ran, again, some commercial properties to see what they would pay, and they were definitely paying less than they were paying.
So is that per $100 value? How is this?
Yeah, so it's just like any other tax, it's per $100 of assessed value.
Okay.
And then, of course, if you have commercial properties, it's double the rate.
Right.
But even paying double the rate, you'd have to have a pretty big levy in order for commercial to get up to what they're paying, was from what they would suggest to be paid under what the Fire and Rescue Association presented, or what they're paying under.
Were there any other sources explored? Like, did we actually look into if impact fees could be used or?
So impact fees can only be used for capital improvements, and it has to be based on the level of service that you're already providing out of the current tax base. And one of the reasons that we do not have an impact fee for fire right now is because the fire departments had indicated in the past that they do not use the county commission's allocation to buy capital, to buy equipment or whatever. But if we implement a program whereby, the commission is saying, okay, well, we're going to use our allocation to buy apparatus, and we track that, then that does put impact fees into play. But again, impact fees can only be purchased for items that are attributable to new growth and capital items. So it couldn't do any operating expenses or anything like that. And I believe, looking at the request from Fire and Rescue, there are some operating expenses that are included in the request that they're making. But I mean, I think the intention of this agenda request was to explore every avenue of funding available.
Right, yeah, because I'm of the mindset, we have a lot of due diligence to do before we would even go down of what
Totally
type
agree
of
with you, yes.
resources or
Yes.
funding sources we would, so kind of. Yeah. That's my opinion on that.
Yeah, we would still need to do a call analysis, because the majority of our calls are actually for EMS, they're not actually for fire. So that analysis would need to be done similar to the analysis that was done for EMS.
Right. Yeah, and besides the sources of funding, like I said, they have coming in, including, they admitted that the deficit didn't include ambulance fillings. So there has to be an account of that stuff and make a case for a levy, a fee, or whatever route we decide to go.
Yes, I'm not suggesting that this
Right, no,
would be
I know.
the end all be all of any, I'm just saying there are other sources available where I think people would actually pay less. Several counties in West Virginia do have levies for a variety of things, including fire. But yeah, I find it troubling that the ambulance fee revenue was not listed. And so I think we need to see an accounting of how that 1.3 million is spent exclusively on ambulances, because I think that is what they're telling us. And perhaps it is, but I think we need to see that breakdown of what are the ambulance expenses contributing to that collective 1.3 million in billing.
I mean, I agree. We have a lot of due diligence to do before we can go out to the public and say, this is what I want to do.
Well, and just one point on impact fees, because I know that was considered earlier years. I didn't think they were impact fee fundable because they are owned by the fire department, not by the county.
And
Is that kind of fuzzy?
it's, for them, it is fuzzy because we have a fire board. So that is
Okay.
a county agency. The reason that they were taken out of the impact fees is because and this is when I was the attorney for the commission, and I was assigned to a committee of stakeholders for the calculation of the impact fee. And at the time, I believe the president of Fire and Rescue was also on that board. And they indicated multiple times with the consultant that they did not spend tax money on any of the money that they received from us on capital improvements. And the consultant looked at them and said, well, then why are we charging it? We can't charge an impact fee if the taxpayers are not contributing to it. Because the whole idea behind impact fees is that so that the existing taxpayers don't pay the freight for expenses that are caused by new growth.
Right.
So that's why they were taken out of the impact fee. So we can fund them because they are a county service.
Well, and if
because
it
we
goes to
do-
the fire board, then maybe
Yes.
that's a little bit different. Yeah,
Yes.
I hadn't thought of it that way.
Right, and for our viewers, the ESA is the fire board.
And I'll report some stuff when we get down to county commission reports from the various on ESA and our role, the ESA board's role in doing some of that. So.
Okay.
Everything under me, I think would require an executive session.
Okay. And
And I think Jessica told me that the woman who had applied for Parks and Rec has retracted her application.
oh, she did.
not have that.
Oh, okay.
That's unfortunate.
It is. Okay. All right, is Jeff on?
But I could probably text him real quick and get him.
Or Mr. Jarvis is here.
Yeah,
Let's get to him. If you're ready.
I'm ready.
You're born ready.
Always ready when you give us an opportunity. Is it okay to come up?
Yeah.
I don't know where you want to start. I know we're live. In every democracy, for access to government documents and exchanging of ideas that's always been the cornerstone of democracy. And this kind of it does predate me. It goes back 2 directors. This predates 2 boards. And there was a case filed against the JCDA for access to some documents. The board hired counsel. Board listened to counsel, went through a process, came to a head the last 90 days. We were asked by Judge Hammer to provide to the plaintiff certain items, which we did. And code says that we are now, we have to be agreeable to pay legal fees. And we're working towards a agreeable number with the opposing counsel. What I came here for, we talked last week, Commissioner Stauffer was in our conversations 2 weeks ago. We're asking the county commission to participate in the legal cost of this. You all supported us through the endeavor on the unfortunate legal fees that have been incurred. And, well, we're happy to see this move forward. And continue on with the strategic plan, continue on with the mission, continue on with the success that our team has been having the last year and a half. So I don't know how you all feel about this. It's not the greatest day. Come to you, ask, spend money. And I don't come to you without a lot of conversation with our board and a lot of conversation with our legal counsel. So that's why I'm here. I don't think we should talk numbers, but I don't know what your temperament is. I can answer any questions you have.
Michelle?
I just kind of wanted to provide a little bit of background. A few years ago, when everything exploded with Rockville opening up, we did provide JCDA, I believe, about $100,000 towards their legal fees, maybe a little bit more. Because they are a small organization and they are a component unit that is primarily funded from the Jefferson County Commission, we did find the need to provide them with that funding. So if the commission chooses to fund the legal fees associated with this particular civil suit, I would recommend that we use coal severance fund to pay for it.
So,
I'll make a motion that we provide, fund the JCDA $22,000 and $22,150.36 from the coal severance fund to settle the payment of fees required by the courts.
Second.
I had a question about this. Because you're in current negotiations, should we actually set, I mean, we have to authorize certain monies, but it should be the full amount since they're negotiating?
Well,
Because that kind of takes away any leverage.
I know I was gonna ask similar.
I don't know if you're asking me, but we are.
It just ended up.
Well, I can convey to you that we have filed extension, and there are those conversations with both councils going on about agreeable terms. And if you would leave it open, I think would be more advantageous.
I would think of more than.
yeah, because we normally have to set the amount, so
Right.
we can't just
I-
say, well, thank you.
So
Well,
I'm just curious.
We can always continue it until
Yeah.
they have a final settlement as well.
Because I guess my question is, given the historical context of this and legal fees and lawsuits and all of that, is there anything in JCDA's budget for legal fees? And are you asking to share the cost of this, or you're asking us to assume the cost of it?
Well, we're open to whatever the county's suggesting. The only thing I'm doing is looking at my calendar because we have asked for an extension for 3 weeks.
Okay.
And we have negotiated that once we agreed and the judge decrees the amount, the set aside, then we have 45 days to have remittance of the payment.
Okay.
So we did put that flexibility in there. And I think I can only speak for what the board allows me to come to you and ask. And it seems that we've had a good conversation to that point. Why don't I take back what your questions are,
okay.
if you don't disagree?
Well, I'll retract my motion.
No, and if you're agreeable to something, you've posed a question. We identified a potential source. And we'll take this up at executive session on Tuesday, and we'll be prepared for you all after our full board meeting on the 19th. We can coincide that. But I think I hear, and to get this, just want to be clear, I like that. Yes, we identified a source. Thank you. Would we be agreeable with cost share?
Yes.
For that? And I think that is a fair ask, and we have the opportunity to do that. So
Okay.
I'll take that back to the board if you're agreeable, and we'll come back.
So I'm just gonna make a motion, we table this.
Well, and I
Future meeting.
retracted my motion, so, yeah.
I appreciate y'all's flexibility and
Okay.
appreciate y'all's willingness to work with us on this.
We'll need a second and vote on the table. No.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a great day.
You too.
Appreciate your time.
Jeff, we can't hear you.
I don't think he heard you either. Yeah. Goodness, please.
Are you ready for me? I did not hear anybody say me.
Sorry. I thought you were talking to me. Never mind. Can you hear me?
I guess I'm on, so I did not hear my name if I was ready to go.
Yes, you're ready. Are you ready?
Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you. So I appear before you this morning to request the reappointment of a former full-time employee that went part-time in June that has now requested to return to full-time status. Heather Ketchens resigned from her full-time public safety dispatcher position. Actually, it was May of 2020, not June. So May. She was here for 2 years. We allow former employees to return to their original seniority minus length of absence if they return within 1 year of resignation, and we have practiced this in the past. Ms. Ketchens is well within her 1 year and is eligible for rehire by our department. She is a fully trained public safety dispatcher, provides immediate impact to our schedule, offering relief for open shifts and overtime. And we have offered her the same salary as when she left. That is grade 4, salary 39,660.64. And I request the commission approve this appointment.
I have a couple of questions. I thought she resigned in May of 2021, not May of 2020. Is that correct? That's when she went from.
Yes, she resigned in May of 2021. That is a typo. She just recently resigned, May of 2021. I apologize for that.
Okay. I just to give the commission a little bit of history, when we transferred our payroll system from the old system into the new system, it was discovered that this particular department was giving years of service credit for leave balances or leave accruals that had not been allowed in commission policy and had not been allowed for other departments. So I just wanted to let you know that I spoke to him at that time to let him know that that would, was not permitted, and that I did not have the authority, Stephanie did not have the authority, that only the commission has the authority to override commission policy, which is why he has included that particular request in his request, in his agenda request as well, to allow her to return to her original seniority minus the length of service.
Oh, okay.
And that impacts her leave accruals. I believe that's why he's got that included in there. So that will be within your purview to make a decision. That's not something that I have the authority to approve. Because she did leave her full-time position and is coming back. She went to part-time and she's coming back full-time. All of her leave balances were zeroed out. So when she does come back, all of her leave balances will start at zero again. He's just asking that she be able to accrue at the rate she would have accrued had she not left. If this had been an employee who had left more than a year ago, I'd absolutely say no, because this employee left just 4 or 5 months ago. But I believe that that is within your purview to make a decision on that line.
Do I have a motion? Absolutely. Changes to start talking.
Okay, I move to approve the full-time employment of Heather Ketchens as a public safety dispatcher at grade 4 with a salary of $39,660.64, which was her previous salary when she left. And also she will be able to, since she's short leave of absence, return to her original seniority minus the length of absence.
Second. I would like to see something like this codified in policy, like if you leave within a year.
Yeah, a time frame that's consistent.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good
Yeah.
day.
I think we'll just take a 10-minute break until it's time for public comment, because there's
Yeah.
nothing else that looks like it could possibly be unless Tom's office.
Oh,
is
Tom's
on.
on,
Is it?
Jensen's on here.
Oh, okay, well, let's go ahead and jump to Tom then.
Sheriff, are you ready to present? Sheriff Hanson?
I mean, we're over an hour, we're almost an hour. over
Yeah,
for
he's
him.
probably just got it.
Let's just take the break and
Yeah.
then he's probably just asleep. All right, let's just recess for 10 minutes and then we'll come back and open with public comment. I'll just start with the folks in the room. You ready? Okay, we're going to enter back into session. We're going to go ahead and start with public comment. We're going to start with a few of the folks that are here in the room that wish to make public comment. Mr. Tab, I'll start with you. Please just state your name and then you can proceed with your public comment. I just want to remind everyone you're allowed 3 minutes for your comment.
David Tabb, Jefferson County resident, lifetime taxpayer. I apologize to the community that for the last month, I haven't been able to assist them in their endeavors of the questions that I get asked weekly, if not daily. I was admitted to the hospital several times in the last month. I had emergency kidney surgery, and even though I got issues, of course, everybody say I have issues, but with physical issues, I'm here and ready to challenge government, this county, this state. Y'all are not doing your job. One thing you did take notice is that this is the first time since June that you've actually posted the agenda where you're supposed to do in front of the library, which is in an agreement. Hence, Mr. Flag. So, with that, has proven, which will be noted at the Supreme Court here shortly, that you have not been doing your job and you've approved millions of dollars. And that's more than just a little bit. I've also submitted 2 FOIAs. One for the finance directors of how that process is actually done, what are the requirements, and anybody that's had that position, what their resumes were, what the background checks were, and what any law enforcement history from any state that finance director should have been done and what y'all did with it. FOIA requests have been laughed at. I've filed many. One of them back in March or May, March the 2nd of 2020, dealing with the proposed courthouse. I'm asking again for that same, copies attached. The FOIA deal also has case law that just happened, and that the Jefferson County Development Authority has a bill to pay for $27,687.77 that you guys were just asked to assist with. The court is now starting to pay attention. There's more to come. It's a shame that the Jefferson County Commission had an opportunity to take care of an issue with the impact fees. Instead, they chose to accommodate the real estate industry. It's very sad. You need to read it. Y'all have a nice day.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the group? Yes, sir, come on forward.
Thank you.
Just please state your name and then proceed with your remark.
Michael Tolbert, Charleston resident, Jefferson County resident. In May, you may know or may not know, Department of Transportation, HEMPO, and the City of Charleston issued a final report called the Route 51 feasibility study. The report's study area was restricted to traffic accidents within the city's boundaries. Thus, 100% of the blame for all traffic accidents in the study area was conveniently placed on the Y intersection. That's the road that leads Summit Point further to Winchester, and the other road that leads Middleway further to Inwood. Bizarrely, left out of the impact on traffic accidents, it was the queued up traffic that results in multiple locations going in two directions caused by the simultaneous closings of two of the busiest rail crossings in the United States of America. Crossings that go down an average of 16 times per day, then go back up 16 times per day. 500 Norfolk Southern trains passing through per month. As with the trains, staying within the city borders allows a great many things to be purposefully left out, missed, not analyzed, and avoided. From a strictly county perspective, and that's why I'm here, 6 come to mind. The vast majority of the traffic here that travels through this area are county commuters and visitors, and of course, the Summit Point Raceway. They basically cut through the city. There's, as I can find, little or no county commission or no county department reviews of this, these projects, or this proposed projects. No or little discussion of police, fire, and ambulance response or access, especially as those crossings, those two crossings are tricky issues when it comes to first responders, if anyone's ever lives on that area. Especially as Summit Point and Middleway are basically gateway roads, the primary access for about a ninth of the county. Bus access, especially since South Jefferson sits on the Summit Point Road. Now, the analysis of how these improvements inside the city limits or changes would spur housing or other development growth on those two very unimproved roads. Any consistency, trying to stay consistent with the county strategic plan wasn't done here, and doing all of this while not even trying to improve the Middleway or Summit Point roads, two of the narrowest, windiest, hilliest, unimproved roads in the county. The report's proposed 3 options for replacing the Y, which was the preconceived purpose, and I'll winding down, are enlarged in the last 3 slides. Also added are enlarged traffic directional arrows and descriptions. All have problems, and all, I believe, will contribute eventually to more injuries and ultimately deaths. Thank you.
Thank you. Next. Sitting for too long. My name's Karen Buck. I'm from Harper's Ferry. I'm a grandmother, and I've been stacking firewood for 2 days. I'm tired, exhausted, but I felt it necessary to come down here, speak to you today about some very disturbing reports that we've read about our finance director appropriating the digital payment keys from the clerk of the court. Now I'm assuming that the clerk of the court holds the keys, the finance director has the money, and it's done that way to maintain a balance of power and to make sure that the fox isn't guarding the hen house. If that is true, then we would implore you to please address this oversight, this mistake, whatever it was. Because in this day and age, we need to maintain, we can't even have the impropriety of misuse of funds. We can't even look like that's going to happen. We have to be very, very careful. So if that was done, if this report is true from what I've read, we need to be absolutely careful with making sure that we maintain our balance of power in a lawful manner. Number 2, there's disturbing reports about an employee, what was it, I forget what that person is, being extremely nasty and rude to their subordinates and that is unfortunate and unprofessional. I would like that person's attitude to be addressed. Number 3, now I'm not speaking for me, I'm speaking for the community. I talk to a lot of people in the community, and this is the general consensus. We're pissed. We're really pissed. For my next act, we would like for this board to address, we would like an audit of the commission funds back to 2016. We would also like to see an audit of all the elections, including this mega tax. Nobody that we have talked to voted for this mega tax. And we want an audit of that election, because it's something is really smelling fishy about this. So that's all I've got to say. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Mr. Swan.
Hello, Commissioners. How are you? My name is Elliot Simon. I live in Harpers Ferry. I am the former chair of the Emergency Services Agency for the county.
Oh, sorry, Elliot.
And no problem. You can start over.
I started, yeah, I got it. Sorry. You come back. You get the introduction. You get to do it.
And it is in that capacity that I'm here today, because during my tenure, the last meeting I opened with the gavel was in July. A problem still has not been resolved that I think is really critical to this county. Now, I'll preface this by saying I have been hired in the past as a subject matter expert for projects regarding logistics. I've run call centers, one that dispatched 6,000 calls a day. While I was the chair of the ESA, I'll call him a whistleblower, it was Ross Morgan from, he's been a volunteer in this county for a long time in fire and rescue, served on the Fire and Rescue Association. And he brought to our attention a real problem in our call center, our emergency call center. And I went and I did a site inspection, and I was alarmed as he was in terms of the call times and the response times. And to the best of my knowledge, this has not been addressed. Now, Ross gave a presentation to the ESA, and then we participated in a board meeting for the E911 Board Advisory Committee. And he gave the presentation there. And I even went and did a site inspection at Loudoun County's 911 call center and sat in and saw the processes. I know how these processes work. The processes we have in place are not adequate, and it's a real problem. And at some point, it's going to erupt into a disaster, in my humble opinion. And we had that meeting at the E911 call center, and Stephanie Grove was there. We talked to Jeff Polchinski, who runs the center. He provided some answers and he said that he was going to look into it. To the best of my knowledge, it has not been addressed. But one of the things that really alarmed me at that meeting was that Stephanie Grove was acting more as Jeff's attorney than she was representing the county. And it's my understanding that she's the one that has the supervisory authority over that function in that facility. So it's something that I'd like to, because it's been bothering me ever since I stepped down from the board. I was term limited out. And the last I checked with Ross and the people that had brought this to our attention is that the problem still exists. There needs to be an examination of the processes and the software. I mean, that CAD system that is capable of doing the job if we have proper management. And I think that both Jeff and Stephanie Grove have failed in the responsibility of the county in that regard. Thank you very much.
Put anybody on the line?
And I sent out a message, but also anyone online who would like to make public comment, I think we have some people with their hands raised, but anyone else who would like to make public comment, you can just raise your hand, or you can send me a message. So our first person is Barbara Fuller.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Barbara Fuller and I live in Kearneysville. Thank you so much for allowing me to comment. As a taxpayer, I'm a little disheartened to see that there's nothing on our current agenda regarding the social media posts and comments regarding certain employees of this county. I found them hard to believe, so I did a little digging. Lo and behold, I found exactly what was posted. I'm outraged as a taxpayer that due diligence was not followed, and if it was, shame on those who were involved back in 2016. With the information that was published, and as a taxpayer in Jefferson County, I'm requesting that this matter be discussed and handled as needed. But I'd like to request that the Finance Department of Jefferson County be audited by an outside independent firm. And if possible, I would really like for that to go back until probably the 2016 timeframe. That's all I have. Thank you.
Our next individual is Catherine Joswick. Ms. Joswick?
Yep, I think I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi there. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. I would like to address the inflammatory attacks that have been made against Stephanie Grove by several individuals. I would ask in the county commission's review of these attacks and her behavior that you consider her long history of dedicated and efficient public service. That's all. Thank you.
Anyone looking at any other takers? And I haven't received any messages from anyone.
Okay, so we have no one else to make public comment.
Can I make a motion? I guess I would like to make a motion to hold a special session to discuss the personnel matters that were highlighted during public comment today.
I think the motion is out of order since that's not on the agenda.
But we can't discuss matters that aren't on the agenda.
Is there any time, how do I go about it?
Well, it takes two commissioners, doesn't it? Like reach out to Steve and see if another commissioner seconds it.
Okay.
So just.
Yeah, or you can put it an agenda
Yeah.
request. Yeah, the next agenda.
Okay,
Yeah.
for a special session, just reach out to Steve. Please ask. Schedule special session. All right, Tom is here. Do you want to go ahead and take Sheriff Hansen? Yeah. We're good with that?
Good morning, Commissioner.
Morning.
I'm here on a small matter. It's just the reestablishment of the Governor's Highway Safety Grant, the overtime reimbursement grant for fiscal year 2022 starts in 1 October, goes to the end of September of next year. It's DUI, click it a ticket, any of the other policies or programs that the Department of Highways has that us and my deputies enforce. And it's all overtime. And they come in and they do a DUI grant or whatever, and it's reimbursed by the state.
I'll move that we accept the grant award from the Governor's Highway Safety Program for the fiscal year 2022 and authorize the president to sign the documents.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
This is paperwork for the president to sign.
Thank you.
Thank you. Everyone, have a good day.
You too.
All right, you too.
All right. Is Nathan coming? I'm texting him. We could go ahead and do commission reports while we're waiting for Nathan. So, do you have any Parks and Rec or any committee?
No, I don't have any.
Ms. Tab, Commissioner Tab.
Well, just the last broadband meeting, it seems like we're in a holding pattern, waiting for everybody to establish their guidelines for accessing money. It's a little frustrating. So we want to spend the Fed's money before we spend our money. So, yeah, that's the biggest thing. And also on Farmland Protection Board, where this is kind of our application system season, and we're getting in plenty of applications. So that's always good to see that we still have interest in the program.
Commissioner Hudson?
Nothing major to report.
Is Commissioner Stoliver still on? Or it's taping?
Yeah, I'm still here. I don't have anything to report. Thank you.
All right, just on the ESA, so I'm hearing word that the ESA employees have filed for a union chapter application. It's my understanding they may be presenting at the next ESA meeting. It's also my intent, and this has been brought up before, is to get with Chairman Foss and pull the state code that gives us guidance on serving in the capacity as a fire board and review that and figure out how we extract those responsibilities from code into the bylaws.
I have those code sections
Oh,
in a
okay.
special folder on my computer, so I could just get them to you.
Yeah, that would be great. So the intent, I mean, we keep hearing we're a fire board, but I don't think it's clearly been defined.
Right.
How we serve, what we do, what oversight, if any, and how we help move these fire departments in the right direction. Also, I just wanted to update the commission, if I could have, let you guys know that myself, in conjunction with the county clerk, Jackie Shadle, and Michelle Gordon yesterday, sat through a demo with the state auditor's office on implementing the transparency portal. They also have a portal that discloses and provides a lot of transparency to the requests coming in for ARP. We are moving forward with those, the implementation of that transparency. The reason we decided to move forward and not actually bring it for a vote, it's no cost to the commission or the county taxpayer to implement this. I think it'll be a great portal once we, well, particularly with ARP, because we've had so many requests come in, is for people to see the requests. We'll have the capability of saying it meets the conditions or it does not meet the conditions, but actually notifying the folks versus email.
Yeah.
So I think that'll streamline a lot of the ARP. And then as far as county finances, we're understanding it could be 6 to 12 weeks before that's actually implemented, but there will be a link. I believe it's going to be Jefferson County checkbooks is what it'll be. But anybody will be able to go on and access that and see what's coming in revenues and how we're spending taxpayer money. So I think it's very important that we create that transparency and let people see actually where their money's going and the decisions we're making. I'm also hoping it will alleviate a lot of back and forth or individual questions that we can point them to that portal before they, ask or have a lot of overhead with seats, people in seats that have to answer questions. I'm hoping this will help alleviate a lot of those questions on what we're doing with taxpayer money. And again, just transparency to the taxpayers. I mean, it is their money that we're managing and spending here in the county. So I think it's wise for them to be able to see what we're doing with that. And that's all I have. So did you want to add anything or?
No, I think it's an exciting endeavor. We had actually gained approval from the commission several years ago about the transparency portal. And at the time that they proposed it to us, there was a cost involved, and it's free now. So anything that's free, I'm
Yes.
absolutely for. And the ARPA portal website should be live in the next week. And I'm really excited about that as well.
Ms. Sherrill, do you have anything you want to add?
I'm excited that it's a tool for transparency for the citizens to be able to refer to.
Well, and, I know we've always posted our budget online and all that, but that's a difficult document to process unless you've worked your way through it as a commissioner or department head. There's, it's a lot of numbers, a lot of just details, and it's all there. It's never been covered up, but it is not easy to understand.
Well, that's a good point to what you're saying is this will provide dashboards so you can easily see. And then if you're curious about drilling down into the actual expenditures, you can go from there.
Right.
But it'll actually be a dashboard if people want to look at that and, like to see the charts and the graphs and all that stuff, and they can, or they can drill down and see the expenses and things. So.
Well, and this sounds like it's going to give real time or pretty close to real time of how fast money's being spent, or where it's going each time.
It will actually be real time because when they proposed it to us before, we were going to need to do either weekly or monthly uploads. But since then we've transferred to a financial system, they can connect to our financial system directly and have that information move into this checkbook system in real time.
Wow.
Yeah, it'll be integrated, just, yeah. So exciting. I think it's very exciting, particularly for the taxpayers out there and the residents to see. Okay. You need to catch your breath?
I'm a lawyer and I have lots and lots and lots.
Yes, well, we know that, but anyway. Are there any matters on item 9 that we need to seek legal advisement on in an executive session?
There are, and I would suggest that the commission go into executive session regarding some initial comments regarding point number 3. There was a directive at the last commission meeting to council to draft a solar text amendment addressing some of Judge McLaughlin's concerns in her order. I need to give you some advice about that or how we discuss that in public. Second, there are some issues relating under the county administrator reports considering matters involving or affecting the construction, planning, purchase, sale, or lease of property that I believe should be discussed in executive session.
And
So-
the next one as well, the reorganization of both safety departments. Also probably needs an executive session.
Is a security matter, Ms. Wood, is that
No, as a personnel matter.
as a personnel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so aside from that, do you have any updates on item number 1 or 2 that you need to?
I do not at this point.
Okay, all right. Okay, so I'm going to move that we go into executive session for agenda item number 9, section 3, as well as county administrator reports, item, I guess, bullet number 1 and bullet number 2, to seek legal advisement and address a personnel matter.
Second.
I'm gonna, if you don't mind, add a little detail for item number 3. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that's for legal counsel. The first one under county administrative reports is contractual matters, and then the next one is for personnel. Is that right?
That would be correct.
Okay, amend my motion for executive session. Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, we are in executive session.
Okay, we're ready to go.
Have a motion to come out of executive session.
I'll move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to make a motion to proceed as directed on matters considering and or affecting the construction, planning, or purchase, sale, or lease of property to legal counsel.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Have a motion to adjourn?
Move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.